Hey gladiators, welcome to the Scandal After Show here at theStream.tv. I'm your host Jocelyn Polite, and wow, the Secret Service suck. Sound familiar? Before we get into all of that in tonight's episode, I want to introduce you to my co-host. Here to my left is Janessa.
Hi everybody. This episode has got me feeling some kind of feeling. I don't know what it is.
And to my right, we've got Jillian.
Hey guys, Jillian Fleischman here, and one of the many things that I learned tonight is anything named Swagapalooza, you just shouldn't attend.
Okay, and we have Jason next to Jillian.
Hi, I'm Jason Caceres, and I don't know about you guys, but next time I party, I'm calling Olivia Pope.
Okay, well, we're an interactive show, so we want you to join us. Use the hashtag ScandalAS and join us on the stream's YouTube chat. We want to hear your questions and your comments. Later on in the show, we're going to answer some questions, and we would like to answer your question tonight. So make sure that you join the conversation right here on the couch. Okay, so tonight's episode was absolutely explosive. It was crazy. I don't mean explosive as in blow up, but oh my God, there was so much going on, and I know that we have so much to talk about, and we've just got to jump right into like our first topic, which has me excited. So basically, this sex tape, right, and it opening the door to Olivia and Fitz getting back together.
Let's just say we need to start by saying that's the president's daughter's sex tape.
I'm sorry. Yes, the president's daughter's sex tape. That's right. Yeah. Well, the president's daughter had this sex tape. She partied like 500 miles away from school. She had this sex tape that came out that was. It was so dirty, Olivia called it super dirty. So you know that's dirty because Olivia's gotten dirty.
Right. What was the sex tape? What was happening in it?
I just know that they went to Paris, and I don't know if I can further explain.
Gone are the days when someone just jumps out of their parents' house's window and goes hang out at a friend's down the street, right? That has to be a sex tape on a whole new level if Olivia's calling it dirty. You're right.
I mean, yeah, and like, you know, YouTube and cell phones, and we got into all of that with it. But let's talk about how this whole sex tape, did it bring back Olivia and Fitz?
It did for a minute, at least. We got that awesome make-out session, and I know that if I was sitting there watching that with my friends, we would rewind and watch it over again and over again and over again because that was magical.
This was an important moment, I think, in the season. It's the 4th episode. It's the first time we've actually seen them interact, and it's about his daughter. I think the first time, their first scene was very, you know, important until all of a sudden he said, "Oh, but I miss you." And then the lip quivering started, and, you know, I kind of felt like it was gonna happen. It should have just made out right there.
You know, it's funny, because I know I've been sitting here for, the last 3 weeks, and I've been talking about how much I love Jake, and, you know, some of you have hated me for loving Jake, but I have to say, that make-out session, it kind of brought me back to Olivia and Fitz. I mean, that was sexy. It was hot. It was heated. I was into it. I was mad Olivia stopped it.
It goes back to what I was saying last episode. They're trying to get back to the roots of season 1, and it looks like we're kind of halfway there already. Like, we're building the relationship again between Olivia and Fitz. We have a different scandal every episode, and they're shocking, they're exciting, they're interesting, for lack of a better word.
So do you guys think they're going to get back together? Do you think that this season is going to bring them back together?
I was just going to say, give her props, because she at least tried to not do it this time. She waited to go in for the kiss a little bit, but I think it's bound to happen. I'm the first person to say that I love Jake, but Olivia and Fitz are just so meant to be.
Wait, Jason's over there shaking his head. He's like, absolutely not.
No, but I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that they are really meant to be, even though they try and fight it, and there's a scandal going on every time that, you know, they should be talking about one thing, but then they're going after the, just sexual chemistry the whole time. Like, they are meant to be together.
And this episode was definitely everything I love about Scandal. It was everything that I know we were hoping for in this season. And of course, this is my prediction, but of course they're gonna get back together. They're, like you said, they're meant to be. Jake, I'm sorry.
I know. Well, it was like I said. At first, I didn't want them to get back together. Now, all I want them to do is have sex. I don't even care about all that scandal stuff. It was a sexy scene. It was great. I want them back together, and I want to see a sex scene, because they have good sex scenes, right?
I'm not calling.
I'm just waiting to see when is Fitz gonna realize that Olivia brings so much bad news with her all the time, and he's kind of attracted to that, I think. Well, so he needs to realize that maybe I should find someone else. If I'm not happy with my wife, and Olivia's just bad news.
For someone who is a fixer for a living, she creates a lot of problems to fix. Like, we were all sitting around saying, she didn't tell him about Jake. She didn't tell him she went with Jake. And then it's like, okay, you're creating another issue. You should just say that you went with Jake from the very beginning. And then the chemistry starts again.
If you open with honesty, there's only one way the relationship can go, and that's up, and that's my little relationship.
Okay, well, we definitely have to see what's going to happen with all of that, and we have a long way to go in this season. But with everything that happened in tonight's exciting episode, we have some shout outs that we want to give to some of our favorite blogs, and go follow them now. Check them out, Scandal Obsessed, and at Gladiators Unite, and Scandal, and at Scandal Minute.
Whoa.
Okay, so go follow them now on Twitter, and let's get excited because there's a conversation happening. This episode has a lot to talk about, and the blogs and everyone's buzzing, so let's go. All right, so here's the part that has me really excited too. Everything has me excited, but Command versus Command. That was an interesting, that whole thing tonight was an interesting, and I know one is not Command anymore, and one, you know, is Command. Yeah. And some of us never ever saw the other one leaving as Command, but who's Command?
I mean, they
who's
both
in Command?
act like Command, so obviously called it from the beginning. Eli Pope is Command, will always be Command. No one will take him down.
Do you guys
ever.
think Jake's gonna come out on top?
Definitely not.
No.
It's so funny because after that bench scene, I was like, oh my God, Jake's in it. You know, Eli Pope might come for the win, but Jake's not going to go down without a fight. After that last scene of him yelling at Tom, and we always see Tom as so strong, as like, you know, he guards the president, and him crumbling to Eli, I think that Papa Pope is going to take it.
He's here to stay.
To me, I think that Jake is a more important character in the whole plot for me personally, so I feel like he will come out on top. I don't know. Let me know if you guys think so.
I think Jake was just kind of like a side love interest that maybe stayed a little bit too long, overstayed his welcome. It's time for you to go. Eli Pope is like, he's Olivia's father. Like, he will always have that hold over her, and he's Command, so he has that hold over like the entire world.
You think that we've hit the expiration date on Jake?
It's about
pretty much
time. A little too late.
I don't think so, because Jake is smart. One thing I will say, even though he loves Olivia and he does everything for her, he always is a few steps ahead of everybody else. And he had that folder and he was waiting for the president. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, because either Papa Pope's gonna make it go away, or it's going to come out and I think Fitz is going to figure it out at some point. It's just how deep in that hole is Jake yet?
Well, I feel like we might be seeing the ending of Jake, and so that's my opinion. I feel like we're seeing the ending of Jake, which I hate because, you know, I have the biggest crush on Jake. But at the same time, I feel like he's on his way out. Command, Papa Pope Command, Rowan, he is just a stronger villain in this whole scenario. He's been Command for a really long time, and he's dealt with a lot of political issues for a really long time. So do you feel like this is it for Jake?
I mean, you know, when in the beginning of the episode when he walked into his car, but he saw a fluid
bomb,
coming down, and he knew, and he was ahead of that. So he is kind of a couple steps ahead of everybody else. So, you know, it's kind of up in the air for me.
But he's always right behind Papa Pope. Like, he can never be too far in front of him. He's got experience.
Papa Pope is insane. He's insane.
I agree on that. There's a huge portion of the story that we haven't seen yet, which is Olivia's reaction to finding out that it was Jake, because I think that she's going to come to his defense and she's going to try and figure it out that it wasn't Jake, which is then going to reveal that it was her father. So while I think that Jake obviously is in the less than stellar position right now, I definitely think that the thing that brings Papa Pope down is Olivia. And if she wants to help Jake, it's going to make it more complicated for Papa Pope. That's what I think.
Well, that's interesting, and I know that a whole lot of stuff happened this episode that brings in, I mean, the name of this episode is Like Father, Like Daughter. So It's interesting that we're going to get into what's going to go on with Rowan and even with Olivia and how this is all going to happen. But one of the things that stood out to me, I have to say, this episode was I had an emotional reaction to Mellie and her finding out about her daughter and what happened with her. And
what
it's
a
like,
scene that was.
It was heartbreaking because it's like, here comes Olivia. I mean, should she be the one fixing a family that's not hers?
Yes.
I know you totally wanted to slap him. I thought on the other hand, he was right. Everything he was saying was pretty true and accurate. It was just he said it in a really mean way.
So many things that he said were so wrong to her about smelly Mellie and all these really rude things because she's grieving the loss of her son. But so much of it was right. So it was a hard topic, I think, for all of us to watch, and we disagreed on some points. But I mean, I hope that she's going to get back to real Mellie now, and I think we saw that when she was, consoling Karen and telling her it was okay, and I thought that was a good turn for Mellie.
Well, the real juice of it is, who's supposed to fix this family, the mother or the mistress? Because what pissed me off is that, here you have him telling his wife that his mistress is to fix this situation. No, this is my family. Right. And she's the mama, and she's his wife, and this is her family to fix, not Olivia. And we were watching it, I had such a major reaction to this because I love Olivia Pope. I think she's awesome. I think she's great. But at the same time, she should not be fixing his family. That is Mellie's job.
But Karen did call Olivia.
Exactly. And Mellie's been lying on her son's grave for the past who knows how long, how many months. She's been strolling around the White House in Uggs and her bathrobe. She hasn't showered. She's been eating cereal out of a box. She's not fit to handle this situation for her family at this moment. Yes, a mother takes priority over a mistress, of course, but she can't do it right now.
The interesting thing is Olivia got her out, but Mellie is the one who's bringing her back to being the girl that she used to know. So I think that is the mother's role, and I think in the end we kind of saw that Mellie did, come to the rescue maybe more than Olivia in some ways.
Yes, absolutely. She actually had a heart-to-heart with her daughter, and that's something Olivia, I couldn't really see her doing that.
Right. Well, I just thought it was interesting because I know that Fitz kind of came at Mellie pretty hard, and we've seen him laying on the floor in the White House, not able to handle a lot of things, and nobody took him down for that. So I mean, we had things to say, and people had things to say about him, but it was like, he's a man. He had a breakdown. Now he's back and he's running the country, and he came from this place of like, well, I run the country. I'm mourning my son, but I run the country too, and I'm like, don't talk to her like that. I don't know. I was mad at Fitz tonight. I'm over him. I really am.
I think, yes, he was a little harsh and he broke down, I guess, on her, but we're forgetting that Mellie has called him a few extreme things before, too. So their whole relationship is just toxic with each other. I choose not to take any sides.
And we're
say
forgetting the makeout
split.
session.
Yes.
Well, that's true. Well, the whole thing is that Olivia has come to the rescue, and it's basically like she came to the rescue with these parents, and I mean, she did a kick-ass job of dealing with these parents that were basically saying that they wanted, what, $2.5 million for this sex tape that involved their son. So, we saw Olivia, I think like you were saying, Jason, and like she was in that first season where she came out just like swinging her sword and like pen and paper, and you're going to do this or I'm going to destroy you.
Yep.
I always find the titles of these episodes really interesting because when I saw that scene, I said, oh wow, she really is like Papa Pope. And then at the end, we saw him doing his berating move too, and I said, yep, she is. I mean, she was pretty awesome. She was, you're right. Back to season 1, Olivia, with all of that scandal, but her fixing it. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I think she did a really good job with fixing this, and those parents were they were shocking too. I mean, I don't know, they were just pretty bad.
Scummy parents.
Oh gosh,
Yeah,
as soon as they called her a dirty little whore or whatever they said, I was right with Olivia. I was like, no, stop it.
I don't understand how you can't just, from the get-go, just say it's child pornography, get the FBI involved.
It's a TV show. They had to make it
so,
more
yeah.
dramatic.
Because then we would go to commercial and the whole thing would be over. But speaking of bad parents, Fitz, I mean, how is he doing in the area of parenting? I mean, as a husband, as a parent, and is he a mister? As
a man.
Yeah, as a man. That's what he called it tonight. So as all of that, like, is he a failure? Is the president a failure as, a husband, a man, and a father?
The interesting thing to me was yes, but he only thinks he's a failure as a man when Olivia does something that doesn't do great things for him. He willingly is a bad husband because he wouldn't be with Olivia if he didn't want to be. So I think it's a weird thing how he's failing, but he's kind of choosing to be the failure.
I think talking about him being a failure as a man, I mean, that seemed like a stretch to me. I think he's a failure as a lover. You know what I mean? But a failure as an overall man, I don't think so.
He's a failure as an overall man, and not because he can't seduce his mistress. That's ridiculous. He's a failure as a man because he can't commit to his wife and his children.
True.
That's what makes a man.
Yeah.
I feel like I always forget that he runs the country. I always forget that he actually is like the president of the United States. So, I mean, I don't think he's a failure because he is a president, but
Yeah.
Didn't you guys find it so funny that he said to Mellie, I'm grieving, but I'm running the country?
Yeah.
And yet when Olivia is at the door, he like scurries all the other people out so she can come in when he's having an important meeting.
Yeah, because
it's like he's not really running things if all he thinks about is Olivia Pope,
Exactly.
which clearly he does.
Well, and she turned him away.
Right.
She turned him away, which we're really not used to seeing, to be
Only
honest. I mean, Olivia
temporarily.
usually is like her lip is quivering, and she's, you know,
And
she's
cute.
yeah, exactly. And so
Yep.
she pushed him away, which I was pretty shocked because it was a hot scene. So I, you know,
Well,
she
not
pushed him away.
completely. They still got into it a
They got
little.
into it a little bit, but she did stop it because we've seen it go further. So what's interesting to me is like, is this Olivia saving the day again? Is this her fixing her own situation?
I think the fact that she did turn him away made it hotter, personally.
More sexual attention.
Yeah,
for sure.
more
for
sexual
sure.
tension.
Yeah.
It's gonna build the heat. But while we're building the heat, anyway, we've got big shout outs to everyone that's hanging out with us on the YouTube chat, and be sure to subscribe to the Stream TV for amazing content. Okay, so make sure you subscribe to us and click like and
Do
get
it.
involved with us, because we got it going tonight, so we want to continue to talk. All right,
Do it.
So all right. I don't even know where to go. There's so much to talk about in this episode. I just can't even. But as far as like, who do you think she's going to save? If it all comes down to it, we saw that this is going to be a situation. And I know, Jillian, you talked a lot about this being a situation that's going to come down to Olivia deciding between her father and between Jake.
Yep.
So in that situation, who do you think she would save?
I think she's saving Jake because every time something happens with him, she comes to his rescue. She wanted him out of that hole. She got him out of that hole. She wanted Fitz to be president. Her father made that happen too. So I think she's going to save Jake because even though we know she's not really going to end up with Jake, she cares a lot about him and she wants to see that happen.
But it's never come down to her father or Jake. Jake is just a lover. He's not even her main lover. He's a side lover. This is her father, the man who raised her. She already lost her mother. She's not going to give up on her father so easily either.
But I think once she finds out that Papa Pope killed little Jerry, it's going to change.
I'm pretty sure Olivia.
that's
has blood on
my
her hands
prediction.
anyway.
What I
don't
like
know.
about Olivia is she kind of always, at the end of the day, wants justice, and she kind of always wants the actual, like the person who didn't do the bad, who didn't do the bad thing to be on top or not go to jail, obviously. And I think that's what I really like about her. And she goes with her gut, so it's whatever her gut's telling her is going to be the right thing to do.
I think she's definitely going to go with her father, hands down. I think that her dad, I mean, that's that bond that we were talking about from last episode. I think they have a bond, of course, that's a father-daughter bond. I think that she loves him, he loves her. They have each other's back, and because she had her romp in Africa or Zanzibar, where were they?
Zanzibar. Good memory.
With Jake, yeah, it doesn't mean that she's going to throw her father under the bus, but it will be interesting to find out what happens when she finds out that her father is the one that was involved. So, whew, we can't help to. Okay, but what about this B613 file? Because this was a little confusing to me. I don't know exactly what's in the file, and if you know what's in the file out there, help us, because I'm not sure if I remember exactly all the details that are in that file about B613. But this file, we saw Jake with the file.
I think it proves...
And he wants to give it to Rosen, so that if anything happens to him, Rosen exposes it.
Well, I thought he was waiting to give it to the president, wasn't he?
Yeah, there
So
was a
I
picture
think
of
it's proof of what happened with Eli and killing little Jerry. I think it's something that would have to take him down, with clear evidence.
Yeah, because they opened it briefly for a few seconds. There was like a 2-second screen cap of it. It was a picture of little Jerry, the president's son, and Tom standing behind them with the ring with the needle. So there was a picture of that. I don't know what else could be in there. But it definitely has to do something with the president's son's death.
Either way, it's not over. There's so much is going to happen.
And I think a lot of us have different opinions on what we think is in that file, and some of you may even know. So definitely, if you know, let us, give us a tweet using the hashtag #ScandalAS, or let us know in the YouTube chat room. Subscribe to the Stream TV, and let us know what you think is in that file and what could take down either the president or Rowan, or B613 all together. So this is an amazing episode. Obviously, we're all into it. And so we've been getting a lot of questions. And so we're going to go to some of our fan questions and find out what you guys are thinking out there about tonight's episode. So, wow, there's a lot to ask. And we're going to answer all of that really soon. But we're going to do it after this quick break.
just in case you missed it live.
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 In case you missed it live, I'm not fake, I'm so real, okay?
Hey, who's excited?
Woo! She's a little superhero slut because she's so. I just pissed everybody off.
She's like such a glamazon. Join the writer team because you are hot.
And I loved it.
That is like tension beyond belief.
I found her to be deliciously out of control.
We were all just looked at each other, just like, ah.
So we can assume that you've written letters to inmates before.
Give me the diamonds. I need them for my wife.
Take charge and kill everyone.
Oh, fuck up this Holocaust coffin!
You were agreeing with me, so I think it was a great point.
You know, you can't count anything out.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Oh my God.
What's your shoe size? My size.
Well, that was pretty awful.
Oh my God.
Very cool.
And we're back. So make sure that you subscribe to us and join in on all of our after shows here at theStream.tv. But we're going to go to some fan questions, and our first question is from @ConfusedGirlLA, who writes, do you think that Mellie and Abby will team up and create their own law firm?
Yes, I've been pushing for this forever. I mean, Abby's clearly not part of Olivia Pope and Associates anymore. She's been booted, and Mellie needs to regain some kind of ground, is what it's looking like. Like she's trying to fight for her own kind of importance in the White House at the moment. So I think her and Mellie just need to, you know.
Abby and Mellie both, they crave power so much and they can't get it. So if they teamed up, I could totally see that happening. That would be amazing.
I like the idea of a law firm, but I think Red and Mellie, as we heard Cyrus call her multiple times tonight, I think them teaming up would be great.
I don't like this law firm. I think that this law firm is boring. I am so bored by this law firm. Ew. Like Mellie and Red with a law firm. Pass. I don't think I'm for it. Okay, but fan question number 2 comes from @Movie123. Will Fitz have a thing for Abby now that she's kind of like the new Olivia? Would he be using her? He would definitely be using her. He does not like Abby. Abby is not his type. She is so different from
You mean
Liv.
Gabby, right?
No,
Yeah, Red.
This question, it's killing me. This question is terrible. It's not a terrible question. It's just so like not what I'm for. Abby is just so, she gets under my skin how she like wants to be Olivia, and Fitz and Olivia are obviously like Romeo and Juliet over here.
What Cyrus said about her tonight was so dead on, didn't you think? About how it's her jealousy that really is what brings her down, and it's all
Cyrus
kind of in her
tore
mind.
her a new one.
Yeah.
But it would be interesting if they do get together and then Olivia comes into the White House and kicks Abby's ass. I'm for it. Let's do it. That would be an interesting episode.
Olivia versus Abby.
Well, Olivia's getting spicy, so why not? Okay, let's go to our next fan question, and this is a live question from YouTube, from Christian Lopez. Yeah. All right, what was your favorite moment from tonight's episode?
Mine was Olivia yelling at the parents. I thought that brought me back to season 1, before all the drama, all the lip quivering. I loved it. I thought it was so spot on, and I would love to see more of that. So that was my favorite.
Mine was in the beginning when Olivia said, that was the dirtiest sex tape I've ever seen.
I thought mine was the conversation between Mellie and Fitz, because it just got such an emotional reaction for me. That was definitely my favorite.
Mine was all of the international travel in this episode. Let's just say that Karen got her passport stamped.
I mean, at least we all had different moments. Which means it was a great episode. So.
Yeah, and we want to hear what your favorite episode was from tonight. And also, we're going to give some Twitter shout-outs. And our first Twitter shout-out is going to go to @DipDiedKanif. Kenneth, thank you. And is it Jason? A Confused Girl LA, who we just got a question from, and @ForeverJohnnyBoy. Hey, what up? Great to hear from you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, so wow. Tonight was a lot. I enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait for next week. Did you all like it? Love it?
I thought it was amazing, and I can't wait, and I hope you all liked it too.
Okay, well, make sure that you subscribe to theStream.tv, click like, and hit subscribe and comment below. We love to hear your comments. We want to hear what you have to say on Twitter. #ScandalAS. We want to thank you for joining us tonight and for making us your after show here at theStream.tv and for making Scandal your after show. We will see you next week. From Jason, Jillian, and Janessa, I'm Jocelyn Polite, and we'll see you for the next Scandal. Bye, Gladiators.
See you guys.